planet was dead. No wind, no sound, just the cold dust under his boots. Ethan, a human soldier, stepped carefully into the ruined alien structure. His flashlight flickered over broken walls and rusted machines. It smelled like smoke, blood, and something worse fear. He was alone. His team was supposed to meet him here, but they never showed up. Now, he was inside a dark alien lab that hadn't seen life for years. Or so he thought. The halls were quiet, but the silence felt heavy. He moved deeper, each step echoing loudly. Then he saw the cages, metal bars bent from the inside. Some were open, some still locked. Dried blood stained the floors. It was a slaughterhouse, not a lab. Suddenly, he heard it. A voice, so soft it almost wasn't there. Use me, hurt me. Just don't leave me. He froze. Who's there? Called out. No answer, just a soft sob. He followed the sound, his heart beating fast. The voice led him to a dark corner behind a curtain of wires and hanging cables. There, in the shadows, was a figure. A girl. Or at least she looked like one. Her skin shimmered faintly, pale silver under the dim light. Her eyes were too big, too bright. She was chained to the wall, her arms weak, body bruised. But her face, it was calm, almost. Peaceful. Ethan stepped closer. Are you all right? Who did this to you? She looked up slowly. You're human, she whispered. Yes, I'm here to help, he said. Her lips trembled, and she smiled. But it wasn't joy. It was pain. Then kill me, or take me. Just don't leave me. Here alone, Ethan reached for his knife and cut the chains. She fell forward into his arms, shaking. Her body was cold, and her breathing shallow. Who are you? He asked. I don't remember, she said. I was born here, or maybe made here. As he carried her out of the chamber, the lights flickered. A loud metallic noise echoed through the hallways. Something was still alive in this place. She grabbed his jacket tightly. They're coming, she said, her voice urgent now. Who? The ones who built this place. They moved quickly. Ethan's gun ready, her arms wrapped around him. Ow! She whispered to him as they moved. There were others, many others, children, like me. Where are they now? Gone, all gone. Some died screaming, some went quiet. I was the last. They reached a control room. Screens lit up with alien techs. One of them flashed and showed his face. He didn't understand it, but she did. They've marked you. She said, you freed me now. They see you too. Ethan tried to call his team on his radio, but it only gave static. The girl looked up at the screen and whispered something in a language he didn't know. The lights flickered again, this time red. They know you're here. They won't let you leave, she said. But I'm not leaving without you, he replied. She stared at him, her eyes soft, but full of sadness. No one ever says that suddenly. Something moved fast outside the room. A tall shadow passed the window. Ethan raised his weapon. Heart pounding. The girl didn't flinch. She only closed her eyes. They always come back, she said. But I thought they were dead, Ethan. Pulled her behind a control panel and aimed at the door. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a loud metallic screech echoed down the hallway. Stay quiet, he whispered. The girl nodded, pressing her fingers over her lips. They waited in silence. Breath shallow, hearts racing. The shadow stopped. At the door, a cold breeze swept through the room, though there was no wind. Then the shadow moved on, gone for now. Ethan let out a slow breath. We need to get out of here, he said. She looked up at him with wide silver eyes. If you take me with you, they'll follow. I don't care. He said, I'm not leaving you here. Her lips trembled. Again, then hold me tight, she said softly, because this place was made to break people, and you. You're not ready to see what's coming next. Ethan carried the alien girl through the dark halls. His hands were shaking, not from fear, but from the unknown. The lab felt alive now, as if something inside it had woken up. Doors that were closed before were now open. Lights flickered in strange colors. It's like the building was breathing. The girl's head rested on his shoulder. She was light, too light, as if she hadn't eaten in weeks, but her eyes stayed open, always watching. You freed me, she whispered. Now they'll come for you too. Ethan stopped. Who are they? She didn't answer, just pointed down a different tunnel. That way, fastest exit. He looked at her carefully. How do you know? I was born here, she said. I know every wall, every trap. Then she added, but the building changes when someone escapes. As they moved, the walls shifted slightly. What was a door before was now smooth metal. A hallway stretched longer than it should. Ethan noticed things didn't stay in place. The lab was alive. Suddenly, a loud click echoed through the air. He froze. A red light blinked on the ceiling. Then another run, the girl said quickly. Security system is awake. They ran. Boots slamming against the metal floor behind them. Mechanical sounds grew louder like claws scraping steel. Something was following. Fast and crawling on all fours, Ethan turned and fired his rifle. But the bullets hit only shadows. The girl grabbed his hand and pulled him into a side room. She placed her hand on the wall and it slid open like liquid. How did you do that? Ethan asked, breathing hard. I'm part of this place, she whispered. They made me to control it. Inside the room, it was quiet. Strange tubes lined the walls, filled with thick green liquid. Inside one of them, Ethan saw something. Floating, it looked human, but wrong to many fingers, no eyes. He turned away quickly. This place was for testing, she said. They mixed species, looking for perfection. And you? He asked. I was their best success, she replied, her voice flat, until I killed them. Ethan's heart stopped for a second. You killed them? She looked away. They wanted to destroy me. They feared I was learning too fast. So I fought back. Ethan didn't know whether to run or keep trusting her. But there was no way back now. She walked to a hidden panel and pressed it. A part of the wall disappeared, revealing a narrow escape tunnel. Come on, she said. We don't have much time. They crawled through the tunnel, the walls pulsing with soft blue light. The air was warm and smelled of chemicals. It made Ethan's head spin. I was not supposed to feel, she said softly as they moved. But I do. Ethan glanced back at her. Do you feel fear? No, she said, but I feel something when I'm near you suddenly. The tunnel ahead shook violently. Explosions rocked the structure, and dust filled the air. Something had triggered a lockdown. Doors slammed behind them, and red lights. Returned, Ethan pulled her forward, both of them coughing. They reached a large circular room with a broken ceiling. Above them was the open sky of the dead planet, gray and endless. We're near the surface, she said. We just need to climb. There was a broken ladder on the wall. Ethan helped her first, then climbed behind, halfway up. The metal groaned and shook from the shadows below. Something screamed high and sharp. It wasn't human. It wasn't anything Ethan had heard before. He reached the top and pulled the girl out of the hole. They were outside, finally, under the strange stars. But freedom felt cold. The girl stood up, her silver skin shining in the weak light. Ethan looked around. No ship, no team, no help. She looked at him with her glowing eyes. You shouldn't have touched me, she said quietly. Why? Because now you're like me. What do you mean? He asked, confused. She stepped closer. When you cut my chains, the system accepted you. You're not a visitor anymore, Ethan, she said. You're a part of this place now. Ethan backed away slowly. What are you saying? You can't leave, she said with sadness. They won't let you, just like they never let me. Behind them, the ground rumbled. Mechanical legs rose from the soil. Tall and sharp, guardians of the lab, long buried, now awake. The girl grabbed his hand. Her face calm. You saved me, she whispered. Now let me save you. She pulled him close, and her body began to glow. Bright white light wrapped around them, and the machine stopped moving. But in that moment, Ethan realized something terrifying. She wasn't just part of the lab, she was its heart. The sky above was quiet. No ships, no rescue, no help coming. Ethan stood in the ruins, heart pounding, dust covering his face. The alien girl beside him was glowing softly, silver light moving across her skin. She looked human almost, but no. Human, ever-made machines stopped by standing still. No human could speak to a building by touching walls, and no human could shine like a living star. Ethan stepped back slowly. What are you? He asked, voice low. She looked at him, her eyes no longer afraid. "I told you," she said. "I was made, not born." They walked away from the ruined lab entrance. Ash fell from the sky like snow. She moved calmly, as if she had done this before. As if escape wasn't escape, it was just another step in a long plan. They reached a flat area where an old alien ship was half buried in the sand. Ethan rushed forward, wiping dirt off the controls. "I can fix this," he said. "Maybe we can call someone? Send a signal?" "No," she said quickly. "You can't call them? Why not?" "Because if you call humans, they'll bring the others." "What others?" Ethan asked. "The ones who made me," she said softly. "They are not dead. Not all of them. Some escaped, some hid inside your systems. They watched Earth from far away." Ethan paused, hand over the control panel. "You're saying they're still alive?" She nodded. "If they hear your signal, they will come back. But we need help," he said. She walked over and placed her hand on the ship's side. It lit up instantly, as if recognizing her touch. "You don't understand," she said. "This place was just a small part. They have more labs, more weapons, more like me." Ethan stared at her in silence. She looked innocent, fragile even, but inside her was something far beyond human understanding. "I saw things," she said, "before I escaped. They wanted to replace life. They were building perfect creatures. Mixing DNA, erasing emotions. They wanted tools, not people. And you?" Ethan asked. She looked away. "I was their mistake. I felt too much. They feared me because I asked questions." Ethan sat down on a broken crate. He was tired, confused, unsure of what was real anymore. She sat beside him, watching. "The sky, I watched many people scream," she said, "but you're different. You held me. You didn't run." He didn't answer. Part of him still wondered if saving her was the right thing. "What happens now?" he asked. She looked at him with a strange sadness. "You locked the lab behind us." "But it's not gone. They will come to clean it and they'll want me back." Ethan stood up. "Then we'll leave this planet. We'll go somewhere safe." She shook her head. "There is no safe." Suddenly, a sharp sound came from the ship's control panel. The signal had gone through. It was reaching out to anyone who could hear. But the screen showed a strange reflection. It was not Earth. It was another ship, one Ethan had never seen before. Heading toward them, fast. "They're already coming," she said quietly. Ethan turned to her. "What do they want?" She paused, then whispered, "They want me to finish what they started." He looked into her glowing eyes. "What if I don't let them take you?" "Then they'll kill you first," she said calmly. "And take me anyway." Ethan felt the ground under him shift. The sky darkened as the strange ship broke through the clouds. Didn't look like any design he knew, shaped like a triangle. Silent and smooth, he reached for his weapon. But she put her hand gently on his. "No. Gun can stop them," she said. "Only I can. But how?" he asked. She closed her eyes, and her skin began to ripple. Her silver turned into soft human skin. Her hair changed color. She was copying a human. His face, his shape, his emotion. Ethan stepped back in shock. "You're me." She nodded. "I can become anyone," she said, "but only when I'm near them. That's why they kept me locked up." Ethan stared at her, unsure if he was talking to a person or something else. "But why copy me?" he asked. "Because you're the first one who didn't treat me like a thing," she said. "I wanted to know how that feels." Above them, the alien ship opened. Beams of blue light scanned the ground. She looked at Ethan one last time. "If they take me, I will forget all this. They'll erase my thoughts. Start over. You'll be gone from me." Ethan reached out and held her hand. "And we won't let them win." Her voice trembled. "You really think I'm worth saving?" He nodded. "You're not a weapon," he said. "You're a person, but deep inside." Ethan still had one burning question. If she could become anyone, feel anything, then who was she before she met him? The alien ship hovered above, silent, smooth, watching. Ethan pulled the girl behind a rock formation. Breathing hard, they had minutes, maybe less, before the strangers inside landed. "We need answers," Ethan said. "Now." The girl's eyes glowed softly in the shadow. "You won't like the truth?" she whispered. "I don't care," Ethan said. "I need to know what I brought with me." "Oh, she. Led him away from the crash site, deeper into the hills. The sand turned darker here, almost black. Sharp rocks rose around them like broken teeth. She stopped at a wide stone wall. This was their vault, she said. They kept secrets here. The door had no handle, no panel, just smooth stone. But when she pressed her hand to it, glowing lines spread under her fingers. The wall opened with a deep, hollow sound inside. It was cold, dark, and quiet. Ethan stepped in, flashlight raised. What he saw made his blood freeze. Rows of metal tables, each one with a body, some human, some alien, some neither. Some had open chests, their hearts replaced with wires. Others had their heads open like machines. This was not a lab, it was a grave. This is where they learned. She said about pain, about memory, about control. Ethan walked to one table. The body on it looked like a human boy, maybe 12 years old, but his eyes were black glass. And his skin had faded symbols. He turned to her. Why would they do this? They believed life could be rebuilt, she said, not born but shaped. They wanted tools that felt no fear, no love, no mercy. And what were you? Ethan asked, voice trembling. I was their final design, she said softly. The one with feelings. To test if emotion made a better weapon. Ethan couldn't breathe. He had rescued something made for war. Something not even she fully understood. He moved to a nearby console, its screen still glowing faintly. He pressed a few buttons, and an old recording played. A tall alien in black robes stood beside a tube. Inside was the girl, young, motionless, wires all over her. The voice spoke in a rough, static language, but the screen translated. Subject 9 has developed emotional response. She recognizes care, reacts to affection. The human code in her is too strong. Erase and restart. The screen went black. Ethan turned slowly to her. You were going to be wiped. She nodded, but I woke up before they could, and I burned them all. Her voice didn't shake. There was no regret, only memory. Ethan stepped back. Then you killed them. Yes, she said, but only the ones who touched me. Before Ethan could speak, a voice echoed through the chamber. It wasn't hers, and it wasn't his. We see you, it said. We remember you. The wall at the back lit up. A large screen turned on, and a face appeared, half human, half machine. It was a recorded AI, left behind like a ghost. You are not allowed to leave this world, the voice said. Containment must continue. The girl stepped forward. I am not your tool, she said loudly. The AI replied, emotion was your failure. You bonded with the test subject. You are now corrupted. Ethan raised his weapon, even though he knew it was useless. The girl stood taller, glowing now from within. Ethan is not a subject, she said. He is mine. The screen began to crack. Lights exploded above them. The room shook. Metal bending under unseen pressure. Then everything stopped. The screen died. The lights faded. Only silence remained. She turned to Ethan, her expression strange. They tried to erase me, she whispered. But your presence changed me again. What do you mean? He asked. I felt something when you held me, she said. Something they could never design. Suddenly, outside the vault, the alien ship landed. Its lights swept across the desert. Footsteps echoed heavy, slow, not human. Ethan looked. At her? Is it them? She nodded. Not the creators, she said, but something worse. What's worse than the ones who made you? She looked at him, her voice flat. The ones who bought me. The air outside the vault turned cold. Dust rose as the alien ship's doors opened. Ethan grabbed his weapon, even though it felt useless now. The girl didn't move. Her eyes locked on the figures stepping out. They weren't human. They wore black armor that pulsed like it was alive. Their faces were hidden behind smooth silver masks. No eyes, no mouth, just blank cold metal. They moved in silence, in perfect formation, 5 of them, all walking toward her. Not Ethan. he whispered. Who are they? She replied softly. Buyers. They came to collect what they paid for. They bought you? Ethan asked in disbelief. She nodded, not looking away from them. My makers created me. But someone else placed the order. They didn't. Want a soldier? She said. They wanted a god? Ethan couldn't understand. A god? Yes, she said. One who looks like them, feels like them, but can control everything. Someone who could lead, destroy, or save. I was their final product. The soldiers stopped a few feet away. One stepped forward and raised a small, glowing cube. It projected an image, a younger version of the girl. Still inside a tank, her body floating, wires everywhere. The voice from the cube said, Project Eden, status unstable. Request. Return for memory wipe and reprogramming. Ethan stepped between them. She's not going anywhere. The soldiers didn't react. No anger, no surprise, just cold silence. She placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. It's okay, she said. I need to show you something. Then her body began to change. It didn't hurt, didn't burn. Her skin shimmered like light on water. Her arms grew longer. Her hair floated upward like it was in zero gravity. Her eyes became full white, no iris, no pupil, just glowing light. Ethan backed away slowly. The girl he saved was gone. In her place stood something taller, sharper. Her voice echoed with 2 layers. Ow. I was made to lead species, she said. Not follow them. The soldiers froze. One of them tried to lift a weapon. But she raised her hand and the weapon melted like wax in fire. Ethan watched in awe and fear. Was this still the girl who whispered, "Don't leave me"? He awakened something ancient, something unstoppable. The earth around them cracked. Her power reached through the sand like roots, searching for life. Machines buried under the planet began to rise, towers, arms, alien turrets, all connected to her. This planet, she said, was my cradle. They didn't build it around me, she added. They built me into it. The soldiers backed away. But she didn't attack. She looked at Ethan, her form still glowing. You're afraid, she said gently. He didn't answer, but his hands were shaking. I'm still me, she said. I still remember your voice, your touch, but I can't stay small anymore. Ethan took a step forward. And don't forget who saved you, he said. She smiled, the glow fading slightly from her face. I could never forget, she said. You gave me something no one else did. Choice suddenly. The cube blinked red. A countdown appeared. Self-destruct protocol active, it said. The buyers had failed on now. They were going to destroy the product. You need to run, she said to Ethan. Not leaving you, he replied. I'm not asking, she said, and the ground under him lifted. A platform pushed him away gently, far from the blast zone, from the sky. The alien ship powered up, ready to detonate. She rose into the air like light itself. Her voice reached him across the valley. Remember me not as a weapon, she said, but as a girl who just wanted to be free. The ship exploded, bright white fire covering the sky. Ethan shielded his eyes as the shockwave hit. When he looked again, there was only silence. No ship, no buyers, no girl. The valley was empty, but the ground no longer felt dead. It hummed, faintly, gently, as if something under it still lived. Ethan dropped to his knees. She was gone or hiding, but the truth was clear now. She was not created to be loved. She was created to lead. And maybe, just maybe, she had chosen to lead herself. 3 days passed. The sky above the dead planet remained gray. Ethan wandered alone across the silent rocks. No sound, no movement, just the weight of what had happened. The girl was gone, or hiding deeper than he could reach. He called out to her many times, but only the wind answered. Her final words echoed in his mind. Remember me as a girl who wanted to be free, but freedom had a price, and now he was the only one left to carry her truth. Then, without warning, a flash appeared in the sky. A human ship, silver and sharp, entered the atmosphere. He waved his arms, firing a flare into the air. Within minutes, they landed, and soldiers in black stepped out. Uniforms marked with Earth's military symbol, FDC, Human Federation Defense Corps. One of the officers approached. She removed her helmet, revealing sharp blue eyes and a cold stare. "Lieutenant Ethan Cross." "Yes," he replied. "I'm the last survivor." She looked him over like a broken machine. "You were part of Recon Team 7, she said. "Your mission was to inspect alien ruins. What did you find?" Ethan hesitated. He could still feel the girl's hand in his. Her voice, her pain, her light, he said. "I found something they weren't ready for." Another officer opened a metal case. Inside were documents, files, and a holoscreen. Images of the girl appeared, taken from orbit. She was glowing, airborne, surrounded by fire. She activated the planet's core, the officer said. "She became the central signal. She's not dead," the woman added. "Just dormant." Ethan stepped back. "You've been watching?" "We've been tracking this world since your signal," she said. "You were the bait." "What?" "You walked in alone," she said calmly. "Your rescue attempt was unauthorized. But we allowed it to see if she'd react." Ethan's hands curled into fists. "You used me," she shrugged. "She responded to you." "That's more than we expected." He looked around at the soldiers setting up equipment. Towers, scanners, and even weapons were being placed across the ground. "You're here to capture her," he said. The officer didn't lie. "No," she said. "We're here to contain her." "She's not a threat," Ethan said sharply. The woman raised an eyebrow. "She killed the original lab," she replied. "She melted a warship with her mind. She shut down alien technology with a thought." Ethan stepped forward. "She chose not to kill me. She protected me. She's more human than some of us." The officer nodded. "That's why the council wants her alive," she said. "But not free. She will be studied, contained, controlled." Ethan's heart dropped. "You can't do this," he whispered. "She trusted me." Suddenly, one of the scanners beeped. The sand near the crater began to shift. A soft hum filled the air familiar. Her hair floated around her like silk, her eyes full of sadness. The soldiers pointed their weapons. The officer shouted, "Do not move." She didn't speak. She only looked at Ethan, and for a second, he saw fear in her eyes, not fear of death, but fear of betrayal. He stepped between her and the weapons. "Stand down," he shouted. "She's not your enemy." "She's not yours to protect," the officer snapped. "She belongs to Earth now." "Don't belong to anyone," she said. "I was made to be owned, shaped, and used. But I've made my choice." The air around her shimmered. The machine shut down. The soldiers' weapons jammed. Systems blinked out, powerless, quiet. She had taken control again without anger, without violence. "I don't want to fight," she said, "but I will not go back into a cage." Ethan looked at the officer. "You said I was the bait. Then maybe I'm still useful." He turned to the girl. "You trust me?" She nodded. "Then take my hand," he said. "We walk away together." The soldiers didn't move. They couldn't. Their systems were locked by her presence. She held his hand, and together they walked into the desert, not running, not hiding, just walking for the first time, as equals, man and machine, heart and code, behind them. The officer whispered, "We just lost the most powerful being in the galaxy." Another soldier replied, "Or maybe she just found the one thing stronger than power." The desert stretched wide and empty. Ethan and the girl walked in silence. The sky above was still gray, but the air felt different now, like the world itself was holding its breath. They reached a quiet ridge, far from the humans and their machines. She sat on a smooth rock, her silver skin soft in the fading light. Ethan stood nearby, watching her closely. He had so many questions, but only one truly mattered. "What are you going to do now?" he asked. She looked up at him with tired eyes. "I don't know," she whispered. "For the first time, no one is telling me what to be." He nodded slowly. "You're free." She shook her head gently. "No one with this much power is ever truly free." Ethan sat beside her. "You're not a weapon," he said. "You're a person. And people get to choose." She turned her head toward him. "Then I choose not to hurt anyone," she said. "But Earth won't believe me." He knew she was right. The Human Federation wouldn't let her live peacefully. They would come again with stronger ships, smarter tools, maybe bombs. all because they feared her. Is there a place you can go? He asked. She looked at the stars. Maybe, she said, but they will always follow. Ethan stood, walked a few steps away, then turned. I'll go back, he said. I'll tell them you're gone. Ah! That the planet swallowed you? No? She replied. They will see through the lie. He frowned. Then what do we do? Her face turned sad, but calm. There's one option left, she said quietly. I can leave Earth forever. He blinked. Where? I was made with star cores, she said. My body can open gates to far systems, but the cost is high. What cost? He asked. If I do this, she said, I will erase everything, my memories, my voice, myself. I will be light, nothing more. Ethan stared at her, heart pounding. You'd forget everything? Yes, she said, including. You. Silence fell between them. She looked down at her hands, glowing softly. I don't want to forget you, she said. You were the first one who didn't look at me like a thing. He stepped closer. Then don't do it, he said. Let's fight together. She smiled sadly. If I stay, or will follow. If I leave, maybe peace has a chance. Ethan's throat felt tight. He wanted to beg her to stay, but deep down he knew she was right. She walked to the edge of the ridge. The ground below glowed with strange blue light. Machines buried in the planet began to hum. A portal was forming, spinning wide. She turned one last time. Do you want me to go? She asked. His voice cracked. No, he said. But I know you have to, she nodded. Then she stepped forward, but stopped again. From her chest a soft light rose. She reached out and pressed it into Ethan's hand. This is all I can leave behind, she said. My memory, inside this, if someday I return. Maybe you can remind me who I was. Tears filled his eyes as he held the glowing orb. She smiled one last time. Use me, hurt me, just don't forget me, she whispered. Then she walked into the light. The portal spun faster, rising into the sky. Then it vanished, and with it, she was gone. Silence returned to the desert. Ethan dropped to his knees, holding the glowing memory in his hand. He whispered, I'll wait, no matter how long it takes, far above. The stars twinkled like eyes, and somewhere in a place beyond names and galaxies, a spark of her still drifted quiet, bright and free.